G'day folks, it's about high time I do Keytar reviews. So we're doing Keytar reviews. Alright folks, so I'm reviewing my Keytars from, let's go best to worst. Let's just go best to worst, that's the way to go. So, my fave, my baby, the one I've had the longest, the one I'm most proficient at using, and yes, that's going to be factored into this. A lot of why these aren't getting user ratings might be user error, so this is the way I'm rating them. You may rate them slightly different, but nevertheless, what I have to say is valuable input for anyone interested in Keytars. So, this is the GOAT, the OG. This is the Roland AX Edge. I love this thing. I call it the Axe. I'm just going to refer to it as the Axe from now on. It's the Roland AX Edge, and I have to plug it in. If you watched any of my other videos, I recorded the theme on this one, because I love the settings it has. I love the settings on this one. I like this brassy. I like the brass on it. That's cool. It just has a lot of cool settings. This is the best. This is the best one. I know how to use it because I've had it the longest. But it's well built. It has the most keys of any keyboard I own. Like, what do we got? C, 2, 3, 4. We got yeah, that's 5 octaves. That's 5 octaves. That's 5 C's on this thing. It says 1 octave, 2 octaves. 3 octaves. Okay, sorry, 4 octaves, but 5 C's. No, this is great. This is the best. I love the sound bank on it. It does have a lot of sounds that I don't use, but of the sounds I do use, this is the best. I love it because it has so many acoustic sounding instruments on it that are just yeah, no, this one's the best. I'll go through my favorite setting. Yep. This is something else I like about it. You can just add distortion settings on this. So this is a pipe organ setting, but I just chucked a distortion setting on it, a distortion effect onto it, which you can do. It's really heavy now, but I'll show you what I mean. So this little interface here, you can do all kinds of cool stuff on it. I don't have a good camera angle for this. Little menu button, and obviously you see the lights changing here. And I can just do all kinds of stuff. I can transpose it. I can add distortion effects, mono, poly. That's pretty good. And portamento, and all kinds of reverb stuff. I can transpose on this. It's really good. It did take a while for me to get to know how to use this little interface here with all the different things. And that's the distortion setting. I put distortion on this Lord organ, and it is a little interface. It's not as intuitive as a computer screen or whatever. But none of these Keytars have computer screens on them. This is the best interface you will get, and I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's once you get to using it, it's not that bad. I did get frustrated learning how to use it, but now I know how to use it. I realize how useful it is, and this thing is great. So yeah, Roland AX Edge is the GOAT. It's not cheap, but this is the latest model. The Roland Keytars have been top notch, like the choice for professionals for a while now. I see a lot of older Roland Keytar models used on stages, videos and stuff that I watch, which is really cool. But this is the latest one. It looks cooler. Obviously, it's sharper. It's sleeker. It looks like an axe. The other ones are just other edges. But you know, this is probably the best one, the most useful keytar that I own, and I love it. Oh, and that's another thing. This is probably the only keytar that I can plug a pedal into. None of them let me plug pedals into them. They all just have sustain buttons on the neck, and they pretty much just expect you to press buttons in order to sustain. But I do play the piano, and I like the idea of sustaining with a pedal. So, like I can't, like it's not plugged in. There is a little sustain button back here. I'll put it on piano on a key setting, and the sustainer. It sustains. Whoa, what is that? That's the wrong one. Oh, here we go. It's sustain. There you go. I'm pressing the sustain button back here, but I can just plug this pedal in. Oh, I'm pressing stuff. Where is it? Okay, so I can just sustain with a pedal. None of the other keytars let me sustain with a pedal. So I do really, really like that. Yep. So, you got your. I'm pretty sure all of them have this little octave switching thing. That's a bit hard on the ears, especially as it's distorted. Yeah, this is a distorted one, but yeah, you just. Octave switching is pretty easy to do. Obviously, it is all black, so it's not standing out on camera very well. Let me get that light over here. Let's put on a setting that's easy to decipher. Here we go, strings. This bends. You got a little bendy thing here. It's like bending a string. I like that. It's really good on the harmonica setting because the harmonica bounces. So the harmonica setting, you can really hear the bendiness in it. And that slide. Okay, so this is a little touch screen. So right underneath this bender, you got a little slidey, and it's basically a touchscreen control. I'll switch to a square wave, it's easier to hear that. So yeah, that's cool. I like this one. And back here, there's other little controls on the back of this neck. I don't use them that much. They do alter the sound pretty well. So it sounds like a sort of echo effect. That one doesn't affect the square wave much, but you can hear they have different sort of. It's obvious with other instruments than it is some. And then there's 2 dials back here. That's assignable control, but it has stuff default assigned to it, and obviously the other one's just volume. So yeah, and I can switch the programs up here. So I got the little favorite. So this is just going to switch between my favorites bank. So it's on square wave. Another distorted organ I got here. A funky bass. I like the electric guitar, sounds really good. That distorted electric guitar, I play that one often. And yeah, that funky jive brass, I like that a lot. And that's just the favorites back. This has, I can actually get a number for you, give me a minute, I'll go up to the top. Okay, 932 settings. Some of those are vocoders, but it's a lot of fun. This thing is great, this thing is a lot of fun. Let's get the vocoder going, it's fun. Give me a minute. So I got a vocoder going. Ooh, okay. I got the vocoder going here, microphone's there. I won't be facing the camera during this, but basically you press a key, it goes, the sound of my voice goes through the microphone and it turns my voice into that specific key. It's on a robot setting, so apparently it's going to make my voice sound like a robot in the tone of whatever key I'm pressing. Now, and that's how that works. So that's pretty cool. It sounds like, I guess, auto-tune. I guess that's how auto-tune works, but I wouldn't know. And so that's a lot of fun. I could do this for a while. This is really fun to mess around with. And that was just me mashing the keys of a blues scale while talking into a microphone. And so that's really fun to mess around with. I'm not going to get distracted with that, although I could. But it's not something I would put into a music recording. But it's definitely a lot of fun, that's for sure. Okay, the AX Edge. Number 1, the GOAT. Highly recommend. I just love it. Yeah. Obviously, it has a power cord in it. Well, there's a bunch of cords coming out of it now. You got your power cord. Not necessary because it takes batteries. What do we got here? It takes 8 AA's, which I have used on stage. It's good, it's fun, but I'm not on stage now. I'm indoors and I don't leave batteries in these things. Actually, I think it's safe to say they all take batteries. Every single one of the ones I'm about to review today take batteries. The power cord is an option, but it is an option that I'm indulging indoors in my little studio because I'm not on stage and I'm not in the habit of leaving batteries in them out of a paranoia. The battery will just like leak, blow up, or whatever. So yeah, also I don't want to eat through batteries. So I usually just keep plugged in when I'm playing in the studio. But the batteries are a good function for if you're on stage or performing with it. They do all pretty much need a cord to connect to a amplifier. That's my amplifier behind me, this little guy. And so that cord is essential. I do like the idea of those windy, those twisty, springy, what are they, XLRs? They're cool, but I don't have one of them. There is Bluetooth ones, but apparently they have latency, so I wouldn't mess with that. And I got the pedal plugged in here because that's out of choice. That's out of, I'm going to turn it off because it's making noise. I have the pedal plugged in here out of choice because I prefer the pedal as opposed to pressing the hold button, but if you're really good with 2 hands and multitasking, you could just press the sustain button on the neck, which is pretty much the case for all of these keytars. But this is the only one that lets me plug in a pedal. I like the option. I really, really appreciate that. That, amongst other things, is what puts this one over the edge. No pun not intended. But it's just got, I like the bank. The sound bank has so many, it just simulates other acoustic instruments, whereas all of these just play with either a handful of instruments or specialize in synthetic sounds. And I got the vocoder, the microphone plugged in for that vocoder function. Yes. Alright, moving on. So this is the Korg RK100S2. This is my second favorite keytar. It's up there with the Roland. There are plenty of people out there that might say this is better than the Roland. It is actually newer, but the sound bank for it is very synthetic. So, I do like this funky organ setting. It is made of wood. I love that. So, obviously, these instruments don't need to be made out of wood because they don't actually vibrate. This doesn't make noise. It's plugged into my speaker that makes noise. But, God, it's just an indicator of high quality. And I don't know, plastic feels cheap. And I mean, the other ones are made out of like strong plastic because they're stage instruments. But no, this is, God, it's high quality material. It's painted red. The red parts of it is actually wood. And I love that. The last model, I believe, was plastic. Anyway, I just love that as a detail. It doesn't actually affect the way it sounds or functions. But it feels good. It's not heavy. It has a nice little slide bar up here. It actually has 2 slide bars. Okay, let's get into slide bars. This bar here. You see the lights? That is a slide bar. Now that has different functions. These 2 buttons here are both sustain buttons, but they have different functions. So they do both sustain. So sustaining, the other button also sustaining, exactly the same, except holding one changes this ribbon to that, and the other sustain button so they both alter the function of this ribbon down here. If I'm not sustaining anything, then this plays a scale. The scale varies depending on what the instrument or the preset is. The preset for this funky organ default is that it plays a blues scale. So I like that. That's part of why this is my favorite. What I love to do when just jamming on this is play a blues scale on the keys. And then just tickle that bloody bar. And look, there's no skill to what I'm doing there. Aside from my knowledge of blues scales, I was just mashing blues scale keys and then sliding this bar. So yeah, that's a lot of fun. I like that. I like this setting. There's another little slidey bar up here. That's vibrato, but it's very subtle on this setting. I'm going to change the setting now. There's a presets bank, a favorite presets bank. I have not owned this one for as long as the Roland. So I am so familiar with the Roland. Maybe if I was like, knew this inside out and how it comes with an app. So I'll put a screenshot up of the app, and I don't know how to use this. I don't know how to use it. And I think it's going to be a headache to learn how to use. But I'm pretty sure you can add presets to this, put in more sounds and functions to it with the app that is not an incredibly intuitive user interface. So I haven't done that yet. That is a judgment of user error. So if you're good or proficient at that, this is going to be a measurably better keytar for you than it is for me. But it's still number 2 for me because it is really fun, even just as is, without getting into the depths of the software of it. Again, the Axe had a screen. The only interface for this, if I don't plug it into a computer, is these numbers. That's all I can do. That's all I can see. That little number counter there, which is sideways for you, but oh well. So yeah, that's not my favorite. Okay, so this is a synthesizer sound. Okay, so that's a major scale, I believe. I think the only two pre-programmed scales into this bar here is either going to be a major scale or a blues scale. That's the presets. There might be some pentatonics on some of them, but there's nothing fancy. There's no harmonic scales or minor scales on them. I don't think. You probably almost definitely can change the scales on them, but I don't know how to do that. So I don't know why it wouldn't be possible if you knew how to use the software and utilize this interface. But again, it's just a little digital number ticker. There's no screen with letters on it like the Roland. So that's why the Roland is trumping this. Maybe if I'd had this as long as I had that, I would have delved into how the software this works. But no, but I do have fun with it. I do record stuff on this with its digital 80s synthesizer sounds. Yeah, so what do the sustain buttons do on this one? Sustain button 1. Sustain button 2. Interesting. Yeah, and I like this actually. This is really cool. So obviously it's flashing the beats per minute at me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, if I put the arpeggiator button on, it's going to arpeggiate to that rhythm. I guess I could speed it up by just tapping the beats per minute button, and I have no idea what that was. I just thought faster, so and slow it down. I wonder if I can swing it. I messed that up. I don't think it's swinging it. So that's the arpeggiation for this synthesizer setting. Again, if I change it up to something else, I don't know where I'm going or what it's going to land on. It's 55 again. Okay, so what's the arpeggiator for this sound like? See, the arpeggiator sounds different for all the settings, just like these sustain button functions on the bar. That's crazy. So I'd actually say that's kind of like pentatonic. So yeah, all the different there's two. Actually, I can tell you exactly how many there are. I think there's 190, and then it has another 10 slots that are empty. So I'm almost certain you can put sounds in this. I personally just don't know how. And the app I have on my PC is not intuitive to use, and I'd have to delve into a whole thing to learn that, which I haven't done yet. But even without that, I like this. This is really good. This one's fun. I'd recommend this. It's not cheap either. It's probably the same price as the Roland AX Edge. It's probably the same level of quality. You can go either or. I personally recommend the Edge. Specifically, I like the range of keys it has. It has another octave compared to this. It has way more keys on it. I'm pretty sure these keys are slightly shorter. I am going to comment on the key size. The Roland AX Edge, I think it has fractionally shorter keys than a piano. Those normal size piano keys, the Roland AX Edge, fractionally so hard to tell. Unless you have like really specific muscle memory on a piano, and then you try to convert it to the Roland Edge, you won't know those keys are smaller until you find yourself like slipping or mashing 2 keys here and there because there's such a small fraction shorter. These are even shorter than that, but it's not noticeable. It's really easy to adjust. These are still good sized keys. I will mention the ones that keys are too ridiculously small, but it's not this. The keys on this are pretty good. They're pretty good. They're not officially sized keys. They're fractionally smaller than a piano, and really small fractions smaller than Roland AX Edge, which has really small fractions smaller than official keys. Key size is not distractingly small, but it is small. But no, this is a really good one. Really good build. Can't plug a pedal into it. They all function as MIDI keyboards. I'll get into that later. And you got your octaves up here, so yep, this is pretty good. It's very intuitive. It's not that hard to learn. I haven't jumped down the rabbit hole as to the intricacies of the software and the programming behind it and how to change stuff on it, but it is really fun as is. I don't feel the need to change a lot on this. I have a lot of fun with this one. Okay, moving on. Alright, number 1, top tier. Number 2, still pretty top tier. Okay, number 3, we've gone down a notch here. This is not top tier. Okay, this is the Yamaha, what is it, Sonogenic. This is a Yamaha Sonogenic. I have played this a bit. It, oh, look. Okay, so, stay this baby on. It has a speaker in it. A teeny tiny little speaker. Oh, I'm tripping on chords. Back here, that is a speaker in it. It's very quiet. There's the knob down here to turn up. Yeah, there you go. That's as loud as it gets. So I guess if you live somewhere that you don't want to disturb the people around you, it's good. If you are playing it and you want the people around you to hear it, it's not great. But it does connect to an amplifier, so forget about that because I'm going to plug my amp into it. Shit. Okay, so it's plugged into my amp now. And that's right, it has a drum setting. I've heard people complain about this, but I don't mind it. Like, none of my other keyboards make drum sound effects. It's kind of cool. I haven't used it much. It's fun to mess around with. I won't diss it. I like that it's there. Unfortunately, though, that is not a whole lot there. It has 30 sound settings, which is like, it sounds like it's enough to have fun with. It's enough to be useful. It's not even close to the hundreds that the other ones have, but that's all right. Let's talk about the pros of this. What's really good about this, if you can't afford a Roland AX Edge or the Korg, then I would this is the way to go. This is pretty good. You can perform with this. You can record and perform with this. It's not as good as them, but if you want to, like, it's cheaper. It's cheaper than them. And so you get what you pay for, but it's not bad. It is measurably cheaper than them, and it's usable. I'm not dissing this all that much. I like that there is an affordable level of useful keytar. I'll get to... I have a $20 keytar here, and I'll get to that. You do get what you pay for. But no, this is... I think... So the A-tier ones were probably $1,500 off the top of my skull in Australian dollars. So whatever that means to you, this is like 500 something. So this is way cheaper. Obviously, musical instruments are never really cheap. So I'm not saying it's a cheap price, but as far as keytars go, this one's affordable and it's useful. So I'm not dissing in that regard. I'm getting off that drum setting. Okay, it's not there. Okay, we have 2 little knobs down here. One is... Ooh, a big pro on this one. Those keytars, you probably saw me flipping them upways to look at them. I don't have to flip this. This is really good. This is actually phenomenal. The screen display is there. What's that saxophone? Yep. So that's great. So I can just look down at it. The screen is facing my face. The screen is coming at me because that's how it's angled. That's clever. I applaud that. I'm happy with Yamaha for doing that. Keytars moving forward should do that because too much of the Korg and the AX Edge have me flipping it up to look at the controls. But, you know, I mean, it's an instrument. You do get intuitive. You do get to knowing it without looking at it. That's loud. What else we have here? All right. I like the guitar swing. I'm going to use this for now. That's loud. All right. That's really good. I do like the intuitive. The keys are smaller. I'm just gonna tell you, the keys are smaller on this. They're not official size keys. I think they're smaller than the Korg keys. It can be adapted to. As an adult with adult fingers, you can adapt to this. I don't have massive sausage fingers, but I do have average size fingers for an adult. I can adapt to this. The keys are smaller than the Korg, which is smaller than the Edge, which is smaller than standard keys. But it's usable. It can be adapted to. There's a volume knob down here. I'm telling you, the volume knob does nothing when it's connected to a speaker. The volume knob is purely for that teeny tiny speaker on the back that doesn't go very loud. There is other controls here that affect the reverb, dynamics, and filter, and so on. They're cool, they're subtle. I haven't messed around with them too much. But they're there, and they're pretty intuitive. It's very easy to use. Very obvious what it is and what it does. Also, it tells you down here on this little screen. This is a good screen. This is a useful screen. It's a better interface than the Korg that just has a number display. I don't like that. But, yeah, it's not as good as the Roland, but it is close. It's a really good display. It has letters. It says J guitar, setting number 12, J guitar. That means jazz guitar. It's down one octave. Bring it up an octave, and now it's... And yeah, you have your octave settings. That's good. There's jam mode. I haven't played with jam mode. Oh man, people hate jam mode, and I understand it. I do avoid pressing it because it Okay, so I'm pressing D and C right now. It's playing. It doesn't play the notes that you're playing. It makes up a tune on itself. And I don't know how to use jam mode. What does it do? Here we go. Oh, it's a beat. It's got a beat. Okay. No, okay, I haven't played with jam mode much. I actually, okay, stop. Okay, stop stopping. What do I do? Okay. Oh, press that button. Whatever. Okay. Stop. There you go, I just turned it off. So yeah, it kind of plays the music for you. It makes you look good. but it plays the music for you. You can't really, once you put on jam mode, it not only restricts you to a scale, it restricts you to the chords that it wants to play. So it's not actually you playing, it's just you pressing keys and it making the sound of the song that it thinks you want to play. So that's jam mode. It's not good if you know how to play keys. It's kind of, yeah, it's a kid's toy aspect element, which I don't know why they threw that into this. If I'm being quite honest, that's something you would find on a children's toy, not a keytar for, like, you know, people who instrumentalists. Yeah, that's annoying. I avoid that. I don't use that much. I was aware that that's what it did, but obviously I discovered. You just saw me realize precisely what it did today, because I just don't use it. I don't use it. I know how to play this thing without that. Pitch bending wheel. The wheels on this are great. I like it. I think it's really good. I think it's better than the bars on the other ones. I do like the neck controls for this, or those particular two neck controls, which technically are not on the neck. They're here. Everything above here is octave switching and useless. Oh, the sustain is there. Or sustain button. But this pitch bending wheel, it springs back. That's really good. I like that, like a string. And a modulation wheel, which is kind of vibrato. That doesn't spring back. You either modulate up all the way, turn your modulation off. I like that. That's really good. There's a bunch of other buttons up here, but it's mostly jam mode. It's mostly just modifying how to pre-program the sound it's making and restricting it to a chord progression, which, if you don't know how to play keyboard, I don't know why you'd buy this. But also, if you don't know how to play keyboard, that'd probably be a lot of fun for you. Yeah. If you don't have money, if you're a beginner at it, if you want to motivate yourself to play, then yeah, get this for any of those reasons, because it's pretty fun. It's, you know, yes. It does function as a MIDI. That's what that is. And I have my amp plugged into it. Yep. Yeah, you go, yeah. I got a power cord in it, but it has batteries. Very light. It is very lightweight. I could draw this thing out of a sheath. Because it is lightweight. The other ones are not as lightweight as this. Partially because it's cheap. But yeah, no, I wish I did have a sheath for this. Just God damn it. No, it's not that bad. It is number 3. It's not even close to as good as 1 or 2, but it's number 3. This is the predecessor. This is Yamaha's other keytar from 30 years prior. This is a 1984 Yamaha SHS-10. I think the Sonogenic is designated as SHS 500. This is the SHS-10. It is shocking how this is almost as good as that. Shocking how much this is basically almost as good as that. For starters, the look, it's cool as hell. God, I love the shape of this thing. It looks sick. I love the colors, the 80s aesthetic of colors on it. I think it's really, really cool. Whereas this, it's just square. It's kind of rounded, but it's mostly just like square. Disappointed. They could have made that way more stylish, and it's a shame. This is stylish as hell. I love the look of this thing. It has a nice little wheel up here. Now, as you can see, it just has a number display. But all of this writing here is telling you what the settings are, which makes it very intuitive and easy to program and play. And I love that. I know it seems like a kid's toy thing, and if they just had scribblings on them of what every setting was, then it's like, not as aesthetically minimalist or cool, but no. This is really, really easy to use. I like it. That's the point of this, to be easy to use. And it's amazing. There is nothing on this. It's like, I'm pretty sure it has that function, but I haven't gotten into it because it's so damn simple. Part of that is because it was from like 1980s something, and there was no Bluetooth. There was no connecting this to a PC back then. It does have a little speaker in it. Which is actually phenomenally good quality, I think. Might not sound good through the camera, but right next to it with my ear, I can hear this better. It's louder. It's louder than the Sonogenic. It's very close to being number 3. But it's old, and it's small, and these keys are tiny. These keys are children-sized keys. That's its downfall. It should have been a little bit bigger. If you wanted it, it's not taking itself seriously, which it could have taken itself seriously, but it's not taking itself seriously. It is great for kids if you want to. So it's only expensive because of how old it is. If they were still making these today, they'd be cheap as chips, and they'd be great value for money. They'd be incredible, but it's expensive because this one particular is in amazing condition. And it is from the 80s. So, I love that. I like it. That adds the value of it, obviously. And I understand more than anyone why it does. But it's great. I'll put it on another setting. Let's go. Electric piano is 10, 1, 0. It does connect to my amp. Give me a sec. Okay. So, there's a buzzing. There's a buzzing and a fuzziness to it. I think that's because of the age of it. I'm not sure what's going on in that port. That is because it's old. There's a bit of buzz there. But that volume knob does affect how much volume goes to the speaker. So hang on. Yeah. But it's actually really good. I have a lot of fun with this. That's a pitch bending wheel. It's pretty good. It snaps back. It's probably just as good as the Sonogenic's pitch bending wheel. It has a little vibrato button here. It has a bunch of buttons here. Portamento. Very subtle on some instruments. Sustain. That's not sustaining very much. Maybe I'll sustain for a different instrument a little better. It doesn't sustain very long. It is sustaining, but it's not sustaining for super long. It has little drum settings in it. Okay, stop. How do I stop? There's a button here, stop. There you go. I'm pretty sure it has pre-programmed little songs in it too. And a little drum beat. Yeah. No, this is a lot of fun. It's great. I mean, I'd recommend it. But it's not as useful as the Sonogenic as far as modern capacity goes. The keys are smaller. But it looks really cool. It's very easy to understand how it works because pretty much the directions are written on it. And I have a lot of fun with it. I wish it was bigger. If it was bigger, this would be so much better, but the keys are almost distractingly small, and that's a shame. It is very old, though, and that drives up the price of it, especially a good quality one. But no, this is by far number 4, almost number 3. Alright, this is a Temu Keytar. What does it say? There you go. It says big fun. It is not working today. It worked the last time I picked it up. I did just plug it in and charge it because it has a rechargeable battery, which you would think would contribute to its expiration because it's cheap, disposable electronic. But it's just... I had a nice thing to say about this. I had one nice thing to say about this. But since it's not turning on, it's not doing anything, I have nothing nice to say about this. This is a waste of $20. This is a waste of $20. Don't buy it. Look, I had a little bit of fun with it. When I turned it on, I thought this is shockingly fun for a little piece of trash. The neck is useless. There's nothing on this neck. It's just decorative. There's a little speaker there. It's not great, but it was kind of fun to mash with and play with. You're better off getting the preschool keyboards. They're like little, you know, when you go through Kmart or whatever, your local, where they sell your local toys, they'll have an instrument section with a teeny tiny, like, you know, toddler's keyboard. That's better than this. For one reason. Look, this looks like a kid's toy. There's no reason to give this to an adult. There is no reason to give this to an adult. I bought it for myself as a wall decoration. I thought I'd put it on this list. Now I'm just ranting. You could skip this part. This is not a keytar. This is a piece of shit. Don't give it to a child. I know what you're thinking. It's cheap. Maybe it's a kid's toy. This is made of such cheap plastic, I could crush it in my bare hands if I wanted to. I could snap this like it was a baguette. This is really poorly made. I mean, it is astonishing. No wonder it's not even worth $20, honestly. It's so delicate. It is built to break, and it's not very useful. And I had about 5 minutes of fun on it, and now I use it as a wall decoration because I got a bunch of keytars up there. It's $20. Why don't I just add it to the motif of keyboards? But no, don't buy this. Okay, moving on. This is another category. This is really good. So I know I said best to worst, but this is really good, really good. It's not quite a keytar. This is a MIDI controller. It's shaped like a keytar. It doesn't have an internal sound bank. It should be, hang on. All right. This is a MIDI keyboard. This is a MIDI controller. It's another class. It's good. This is good. This is fun. Don't assume that the Temu Keytar is better than this. This is really cool. It's really useful. It lights up. It's beautiful. The keys are regular sized keys. These are standard sized keys. It's fantastic. It has no internal sound bank because it's a MIDI controller. The only noise you're hearing is going through my computer. So the neck functions are really cool and fun and unique, and that is coming from this. That's not to do with my computer. But the sound, that organ sound, is my computer. If you didn't notice, that was a bit of latency because it's going through a MIDI cable. So I have a 5-point MIDI to USB going into my, look, I'm using that as a power cable. But that can also connect, but that has way more latency than the 5-pin. I recommend 5 pins for MIDI because everything else pretty much has astonishing latency. It also has a USB dongle. I can plug a USB into that to make this sort of wireless. Actually, if I put batteries in this and then attach a USB to my computer, it will have astonishing latency. But no wires. There will be no cords. This will be completely portable with batteries and a USB plugged into my computer, the dongle, wireless Bluetooth. It'll just tell my computer what music to play and it will play it. And there will be batteries in this. It will have tragic amount of latency. Maybe if my computer was better. It's not a bad computer, but there's latency. I find with most MIDI keyboards, there's latency. It's annoying. Unless I'm actually using like unless I need MIDI, I avoid using MIDI because I play instruments. I've learned to play the instruments. I don't use MIDI that much. But no, this is a MIDI controller. I do use it because it's good to have a MIDI controller when you record stuff. Bit of latency. The key size. Normal key size, standard key size, exactly the same as my piano. I like it. It's very good. You got these little drum pads down here. They're cool. If you know how MIDI stuffs work, that's obviously it's just playing the lower notes. If I go down an octave. Yeah, it's pretty much just the lower notes assigned to them at the moment. There is a bunch of these. Whoop, let's get closer. Little slidey controls, and you can see the number assigned to them. I haven't assigned any controls to them. I am not that proficient in Ableton. I haven't figured out how to assign any Ableton functions to those controls. If you're really techie, if you're really good at the computer side of making music, I specialize in instruments and music theory. The computer side of it irritates the hell out of me. But no, you can make this more useful than I can. The neck functions are great. I know how the neck functions work. This is interesting. This is unique to this. Tilt. It knows if I'm tilting it or not, and I can alter the sound with the tilt of it. That's neat. That's really, really neat. I do like that. It's just unique. I don't use it. I honestly don't use it because I don't stage perform with this one. But it's a neat function. I'd actually like to see that in my other keytars because that's pretty cool. Yeah, you got your octave switching. I like the pitch bending wheel. It could be a little bit more springy, but it's really big. It's really easy to use. I have a bit of a problem with this slide bar. If you slide up, it stays slid up. You have to slide it back down to turn it off. Whereas the other ones, you touch the slide bar. If you stop touching it, it turns off the slide bar function. Whereas this is just like, it's basically a dial. It stays dialed. And you got to slide it back down and turn it off. The sustain bar here is a big old button. It's a nice little, give you a good look at the neck. So this is that slide bar I was talking about. Sustain button. Your octave switching buttons are here. That's your pitch bender. And these three buttons below it actually determine what this slide bar does. So, and then press this one. Interesting. That's cool. Yeah. So that's what they do. No, this is I didn't mention the name of it. Alesis Vortex 2. Alesis Wireless Vortex 2. It broke my heart. It broke my heart to find out there was a red edition of this. Well, everything I own is pretty much red or black, and my keytars are mostly red. So when I found out there was a red one of these, it looks awesome. But from what I actually read, it was not only discontinued, but it was a little bit more. It was kind of error prone. This is more proficient. This one works better, more functional than the original red model that came out. But I do like the look of the red model. It looked beautiful, but apparently it was a little more error prone than this one, and they don't make them anymore, so it's more expensive. But no, it's cheap. If you find it, it's cheap-ish. I mean, it's probably as much as the Yamaha's. It's probably about $500 Australian. When I talk about money, it's Australian dollars. But it has no sound bank. So if you know what a MIDI controller is and you want a MIDI controller, this is great. Go for it. But it has no sound bank. This has no sounds programmed into it. You need to be able to plug this into a computer to make it make noise. Otherwise, it's just a decoration and an accessory. But it does look cool. The keys are very fun to play with because they're standard size keys. But look, I can. Well, that's way too high. There is latency with this. I'm just playing with my laptop here because it has all the sounds on them. I have Ableton up, so I can play with Ableton's presets and all of its audio effects, so I can add a distortion amp sound to it. Yeah, that's heavy. No, that's a lot of fun. Yeah, so I know how to use Ableton. All the sounds are on Ableton, pretty much everything I can put through Ableton, all the effects on Ableton, which I only have the light version and there's heaps of them. You can pretty much put onto this, which if you adjust to the latency, which is fractional, it's very small, and I'm sure if you're a techie guy, you can fix that. I'm not, and so I have to deal with the latency. Yeah, it's fun. I have another MIDI controller. Oh. This is a beauty. This is gorgeous. This is also from the 80s. It's very old. It is built like a brick shithouse. This thing is rock solid. It is plastic, although it's almost metal. It's very strong. It's very durable. There's a reason these things still work for most people. So this worked the last time I plugged it in. It did, but I'm having trouble with it today. I have diagnosed the issue as the power source. Whatever allows it to turn on. I'm going to take it to my guy. He's going to crack it open. And whatever kind of hardware is responsible for giving this thing power is at fault there. But once I get it working, once I fix that, I'm going to use... This is a great MIDI controller. It is very heavy. So it is distractingly heavy. But the neck is long. Look, it looks amazing. It looks incredible. For the only Keytar I have that's not red or black. I do love the look of this thing. It is the Casio. It is an old Casio. And it looks awesome. AZ1. Casio AZ1. That's all MIDI stuff. There's no presets in this. There's no sound bank in this. It's a MIDI controller. Pretty much the same as the Alesis Vortex. The neck controls, they're really good wheels. I like them. I wish the power was flowing to it today. Sustained portamento. The octave up and down is not on the neck. It's actually here, which is a little less intuitive, unfortunately. But no, this is solid. It's got a nice little display there, but it's not as intuitive as you might think. Also, it's not necessary because it's a MIDI controller. But this is good. This is cool. This is classic. It's very expensive because it's old and they don't make them anymore. But because they did make a fair few of these and it is built very well, it lasts. I love it. It's very good. It's very cool. I'm currently using it as a wall decoration because I have a functional MIDI controller. But when I feel like throwing some money at fixing it, I will fix it. I'll pay for it to get fixed. No, the AZ1 is cool. This is a cool MIDI controller. It's heavy though. If you're on a stage, work with the Alesis, man. Unless you want the look of it, use the Alesis. Unless you really like the look of this, and you do have... I mean, these wheels, there's good neck controls on that. This has good neck controls too. But use the Alesis, because this is heavy, and it's going to give you back problems. It is heavy. And that's not an official strap, so of course I haven't. Yeah, I've been using it as a wall decoration. But this is a shout out to Casio AZ1. It's a cool one. It's a nice one. I'm going to have to get this one fixed though. Alright. I might have neglected to say that they're all MIDI controllers. So yeah, the Alesis Vortex is a good MIDI controller, but if you have an AX Edge or a Korg, they're also good MIDI controllers. The key size, I guess, is the only difference. standard key size, like the piano, which my piano also has MIDI controller functions, slightly smaller key sizes. So they really all have MIDI controller functions. Don't get an Alesis Vortex because like they can't do MIDI. They can do MIDI. They can also do MIDI functions. It's good. So that's Keytar Reviews. Thanks for staying tuned. I hope you are better informed now, but that's my opinion on my keytar collection. It's been in the background for all of my videos, and I do play with them. They're not just there for decoration. Most of them. Some of them are. But, no. Thanks for watching. Thanks for staying tuned. Laters.